Season 2 of Wednesday has finally arrived on Netflix after making us wait almost 3 whole years for it. It's actually getting ridiculous how long we're being made to wait for these shows, because honestly, no story is worth waiting that long for. However, what I will say is that the first 4 episodes of this new season were exciting, filled with action and drama, and we got to see Wednesday, a character that's often filled with a bleakness and led by darkness, using it for good, and letting it drive her to protect the person that she cares about most, Enid. With Tyler now being on the loose, the vision of Enid's death looking like it's going to be on the horizon, she's got a lot of work to do. So with that, let's dive into Season 2 and break down the ending. Here is Wednesday Season 2 Part 1 Ending Explained. Just to let you know, this video will contain spoilers. Who was behind the crows? One of the biggest mysteries in Season 2 Part 1 was who was the main stalker of Wednesday Addams and the person that was behind the crows that didn't only murder Galpin and his private investigator friend Carl Bradbury, but whose crows were also at the vision of Enid's death that Wednesday had, where she was told that it was all her fault. Whilst it was hinted that it could well be Dr. Fairburn and also the new music teacher Miss Capri, it turned out that it was the daughter of the science teacher that used to work at Nevermore, Augusta Stonehurst. This daughter actually appeared early on in the season as the receptionist at Willow Hill, when in actual fact she was running a secret project within the basement called Lois, a name which stood for Long-Term Outcast Integration Society. Her father was a normie, which meant that she was born as a normie as well. However, due to the training that her father put her through, he essentially made her an outcast by giving her the ability to become an avian, somebody that had the ability to control birds and have them beckon to her every command. He even built her an aviary, and it was through his teaching that she learned this ability. This was something that she also wanted to do with other people, hence why the missing outcasts that were documented in the bullpen were underground at Willow Hill. She was carrying out secret experiments on them like her father did to her, with the hopes of getting them to hone in on abilities and push the limits of their powers. This is why both Galpin and Bradbury were killed by her and her crows. They were getting closer to uncovering the truth about what was going on beneath the floorboards at Willow Hill, the secret experiments that were taking place on the people that were announced as dead but were actually abducted. And Galpin feared that that treatment was going to happen to his son, so he wanted to expose it. This is also why Wednesday was being hunted, because she was getting closer to uncovering the truth as well. So with all of the outcasts now on the loose following the power going down and security being taken out, there's going to be a lot of criminals on the run. So with her project being uncovered and also rendered pointless now due to them being released, we're most likely going to see her going after Wednesday even more now. Will Enid's death be Wednesday's fault? The thing with Wednesday looking to find out why it was that Enid was going to be killed is that it had a paradoxical element to it. If she didn't, then Enid might have ended up dying and she never would have known why, or she might not have died. But because she dug deeper and deeper, it ultimately caused a chain of events which led to Tyler being led on the loose, and also the daughter of Gus, who will most likely be looking to seek revenge, being out there. So everything that is going to happen following the outcasts being released from Willow Hill is all because Wednesday decided to break in and find out more about Lois and who could potentially have been behind the crows. Enid's grave was seen in Wednesday's vision, where the very crows that she'd been fighting against were surrounding it, making it seem like the stalker that was after Wednesday was the person that could have been going after her, and it was said that it was all Wednesday's fault. I don't think it's going to be as straightforward as that though. When Wednesday went to go and see Tyler, Tyler reminded Wednesday to say hello to Enid, and that he was basically going to make her pay for the battle that they had in the Season 1 finale, and for the fact that he ended up inside of Willow Hill. With him now being on the loose, Tyler could look to get that revenge, and that could be the reason why she was dead in the vision. This could also connect to it being Wednesday's fault, because Tyler would still be safely locked up in those chains if it wasn't for Wednesday going to Willow Hill, interfering with what was going on there, and Fester ultimately shooting out lightning, which caused all of the security to be turned off, which then enabled Thornhill to release him. So the chain of events was all triggered by Wednesday, and there's definitely going to be some guilt on her shoulders. When her monologue said that she made everything worse by doing that, she definitely did. Because if she never went there, then Enid might have actually stood a chance at surviving. Is Slurp getting stronger? One of the most interesting characters that we were introduced to in this season of the show was Slurp. Slurp was first introduced in a story that was being told, where it was said that he was once a boy at Nevermore that was one of the greatest minds to ever study there. He had a weak heart though and was given months to live, so he invented a clockwork heart which allowed him to survive, but it ultimately changed him to be somebody that was cold and driven by ambition. The ambition that ultimately got him killed and laid to rest in an unmarked grave by the skull tree. When Pugsley heard this story, it led him to want to go to the tree because it was said that you could hear the clock ticking. However, once surprised, he fell to the ground and shocked it, which ultimately brought Slurp back to life. When we first saw him, he was a zombified monster that didn't have a brain or anything like that. But as we've seen, through eating people specifically, he's able to grow stronger and resemble a human more. Hence why his appetite has been getting fiercer and fiercer, and why he's killing more and more. During the final episode, he killed Dr. Fairburn, and he also killed Augustus Stoneheart. As he looked at him, he spoke his first words in the show, which were, "Hello, old friend." I'm guessing Slurp most likely said this because he was his teacher at Nevermore when he was there. Judging by the trailer for the next batch of episodes, it seems like he's going to resemble a human even more, which most likely means he's going to continue killing. So he is getting stronger and stronger as time goes on. What is Principal Barry Dort up to? Principal Barry Dort is a suspicious character. At first, it seemed like he was a principal with good intentions, but once we saw the side to him where he tried to get Bianca to use her siren abilities on Morticia Addams to get her to call her estranged mother for a large donation, we saw a slightly darker side to him. During the final episode, he was on the phone to somebody and was acting suspicious, saying how everything was going according to plan. This makes me think that he's got different intentions with the money that he's set to come into, which is being donated for the preservation of Nevermore. Maybe he's looking to pocket some of that money for himself and not put it where it's supposed to go. After all, Morticia's mother is the wealthiest alumni from the school, so who's to say if some of it went into his pocket, it might not be noticed as much. I imagine this will be revealed in the next part of the season, and with Bianca and Ajax spotting him, he's definitely not the good principal like he was made out to be. My review of the season. I thought the first 4 episodes of the season were pretty good. Honestly, I despise the fact that we had to wait 3 years for 4 episodes, and now we have to wait another month for the final 4, but I'm guessing that's just the world we're living in now. It's ridiculous. In terms of the episodes, I thought the final episode was probably the best. It had the most action, and it did a good job in providing a sense of resolution to the arcs that were there, whilst also leaving the door open, with the likes of Wednesday being thrown out of that window, Tyler going on the run, and the other outcasts that were imprisoned getting freedom. Jericho is definitely going to be in disarray moving forward. I quite like the fact that Pugsley got a larger inclusion in this season. His character felt like the comic relief and probably got the most moments that made me chuckle. Seeing him have Fester's powers was a nice touch as well. The dynamic between Wednesday and Enid was something that I also enjoyed watching. We're seeing Enid feeling like Wednesday is drifting further away from her, and she doesn't realise that it's only because Wednesday is trying to protect her. So that friendship is very much getting on the rocks, and all she needs to do is be honest with her. Tyler as the Hyde is definitely the most menacing character in the show. He's so powerful, and when he killed Thornhill, that was such a shocking moment. When Thornhill said how Hydes never kill their masters because it basically brings about the beginning of the end, he didn't care for that at all, and it shows that the connection is definitely broken within his mind. If there was an episode that I thought was the weakest, I'd probably say episode 3. The whole camp thing just felt a bit pointless, and nothing really happened other than Wednesday discovering the bullpen, which was crucial to the story, but everything that it was intercut with just felt like a bit of fluff and filler. Wednesday Addams is definitely a role that Jenna Ortega was meant to play, and that cold, emotionless darkness that she embodies is something that's just so well performed. Seeing her battling with losing her powers and the helplessness that she has because she's exhausted them is most likely what landed her in being thrown out of the window. So it's going to be interesting to see if and when she gets her powers back in part 2. Whilst it was left on a strong cliffhanger, I do wish that we got all of the episodes at once. It's the optimum viewing experience. I'm just fed up with being given incomplete stories and having to wait a month, but I'll be there when part 2 drops. So, there you have it. Wednesday Season 2 Part 1 Ending Explained. What did you think of Season 2 Part 1? Share your thoughts in the comments. As always, thanks for tuning into the video, and I'll see you in the next one.